Dear learners, today I switch over to another topic from the subject of Muslim law, and topic is also very important and also relevant in contemporary legal system. The topic that I propose to discuss with the learners or the audience, that is gift under Muslim law or hiba. I have already discussed in detail uh, how the property of a deceased Muslim will devolve after his death. Number one, that is, therefore, I have discussed law of inheritance. Then I discussed the topic of wasiyat or will, because uh, law of inheritance is a set of rules that determines uh, upon whom the property of a deceased Muslim will devolve, who are the legal heirs, and how the property will be distributed among the legal heirs of the deceased Muslim. What methods, what procedure will be adopted in order to make the proper distribution of the property once one who is the Muslim owner of the property he dies. Then friends, I discuss the topic of the wasiyat, because one who is the owner of the certain existing movable or immovable properties, being the owner, he has got indefinite right of disposition. I have already meaning thereby that owner in his lifetime can dispose of his property or properties uh, uh, by different modes, by resorting to the legally recognized modes or means. And most popular modes of the disposition of the property recognized under the most of the legal system are: number one, that is the sale, that is the will, as well as the gift. So these are the three duly recognized modes in the exercise of which a owner in his lifetime decide or decide to transfer his or her property. So gift is also one of the legally recognized mode or means whereby owner of property or properties transfer his ownership or transfer his property uh, to a person of his or her choice. I have already pointed out that in case the owner decide to uh, transfer his interest in the property by means of the wasiyat, wasiyat is made by the owner in his lifetime. Wasiyat is executed by the owner in his lifetime, but it becomes effective only after the death of the testator, that is, the person who makes the transfer of his property or interest in his property in the name of any other person. So, in case of the wasiyat, the interest of the property which is transferred, which is disposed of in the lifetime, that becomes effective only after the death of the transferor, that is the testator. Now, so far as the gift is concerned, gift is slightly different from the wasiyat. Both are the modes of the devolution of the interest in the property. In the former, the interest takes effect, or the devolution takes effect only after the death of the transferor. In the gift, the transfer is made by the owner in his lifetime, and as soon as the transaction of the transfer is complete, is final, immediately on the final conclusion of the transfer by the gift, the uh, the transaction becomes effective, means the gift become effective. So gift basically takes the effect immediately on the completion of the transfer of the property, that is under Muslim law. As soon as there is a delivery of the possession of the subject matter of the gift by the donor to the donee, from that very moment the donee will become the real owner of the property, and the donor will be divested of all his proprietary interest in the property, and uh, same will uh, pass on or waste in the donee whosoever will be in the given circumstance. Therefore, today I propose to discuss the various aspect of this mode of the transfer of the property by one person to another, that is gift. Ladies and gentlemen, the transfer of this gift is subject of the Muslim law, as well as the provisions are made for making the gift under the common law or under the Transfer of Property Act 1882. Means the transfer of the property by means of the gift is part of the Muslim law, but at the same time there is a provision, there is a complete chapter of the gift under the scheme of Transfer of Property Act 1882. The Transfer of Property Act 1882 deals with the transfer of property by way of the gift. Section 122 to Section 129 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 deal with the gift. However, the provisions the provisions running from starting from 122 to 129, these provisions of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 do not apply to the gifts made by the Muslim who are consequently governed by the provisions of Muslim law. The rights of a person to dispose of his separate or self-acquired property inter vivos and at his pleasure are universally recognized. Under Muslim law, also a person can dispose of his or her property in various ways. I have already explained that according to the Muslim law or under the Muslim law, a person is allowed to lawfully make a gift of his total property during his lifetime in the name of any person of his or her choice. And unlike the situation under the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the gift made by a Muslim also become effective with the immediate effect, means it becomes operative and effective the moment transfer by gift is final, and as soon as the transaction of the gift becomes final, consequently the owner or the donor will be divested of his all the proprietary rights in the subject matter of the gift, as well as he will also lose his control or possession over the over the property which is the subject matter of the gift in a given case. Therefore, uh, means that there are two set of the laws dealing with the topic of the gift. One set of the laws are provided under the scheme of the Transfer of the Property Act 1882. They are the general laws, are applicable to the owners across the religion. At the same time, another set of the rules dealing with the are provided under the respective personal laws. For example, if the owner is Muslim, then under the Muslim personal law also there is a provision providing for the making of the gift by a Muslim in respect of his or her property. So this is the separate set of the rule, but the provisions provided under the scheme of 1882 are not applicable to the gift which are made by a Muslim according to his personal laws. A Muslim is also permitted to transfer the ownership in his property to another person by way of will or testament, which takes effect after his death. I have already discussed. A disposition inter vivas is unrestricted as to the quantum of the property, and a Muslim is allowed to give away his entire property during his lifetime by way of gift. But when the property is transferred by way of the will or wasiyat, then he will be allowed to transfer only a limited part of his property, that is, he can transfer his property by way of wasiyat or testament in ordinary course of the circumstances only to the extent of 1/3 of the total part. So this is the fundamental difference between the gift and will. And the fundamental difference between the will and gift is that will becomes effective only after the death of the testator. Means legatee under a will be entitled to claim her benefits only on the death of the testator or after the death of the testator. Further, a legatee under a will is entitled only to the extent of 1/3 of the property of the deceased. Means the testator cannot give away more than 1/3 of his net property to the legatee by means of the gift, by means of the will. But in case of the gift becomes effective immediately on the delivery of the possession of the subject matter of the gift by the donor to the donee. Second thing is that in case of the will, the owner is at liberty to give away his certain part of the property, maybe 1/3, maybe 2/3, or sometime it may be the total property that can be given or that can be transferred by the owner to a person of his choice at any point of the time in his life, to the exclusion of all his legal heirs, relatives, dependents, etc., etc., whatever may be. That means that in case of the gift, or the donor can give away the total property, leaving aside his all the legal. So this is the fundamental difference between the wasiyat and gift. Friends, the chapter 7th of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 regulating the gifts does not apply to the Muslim gift or gift made by the Muslim law, that is known as hiba. Although there is no such difference between gift and made by non-Muslim or Muslim, yet the formalities of the hiba are different from that of gift made by a non-Muslim. Therefore, hiba is governed by Muslim law, personal law, and gift is governed normally by the general provisions of the law provided under the scheme of the Transfer of Property Act 1882. It must be noted with care that Islamic legal system encourages the making of mutual gifts with the intention of transferring wealth or property from one person to another, leading to cordiality and affection. A Muslim may validly transfer his property either whole or certain part to another person by way of the gift in his lifetime. However, in Islamic law, gifts are known as hiba, and unlike the gift defined in the Transfer of Property Act, hiba is usually transferred inter vivas, that is, transfer between the two living persons. Thus, gift is general term, while hiba is a restricted and well-defined legal term used under the Muslim law. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the point, what is the gift or what is the meaning and definition of the gift, because so far I have given you the background of the topic, the importance of the topic, the difference of the subject matter of the discussion with the previous subject, that is between the what difference between the gift and wasiyat. Now I come to the point, what is the meaning and the definition of the word gift or hiba according to the Muslim law. A gift is generally a transfer of ownership of the property by one living person to another living person without any consideration. In Islamic law, gifts are known as hiba. I have already stated. And precisely, a gift means an extensive overtone and appertain to all kind of the transfer of ownership not involving any consideration. On the other hand, the term hiba includes a narrow connotation. It is basically transfer inter vivas, that is between the living persons. Hiba has been defined by the different jurists of Muslim law, and the important definitions of the hiba I refer for the proper understanding of the learners. According to the author of the Hidayah, hiba is an unconditional a transfer of ownership in an existing property made immediately without any consideration. At the same time, there is another authority on the subject of the Muslim law known as Sayyid Amir Ali. According to this author, that is Sayyid Amir Ali, what is hiba? He says, I quote, a hiba is voluntary gift without consideration of without consideration. Hiba is voluntary transfer of property without any consideration by one person to another so as to constitute the donee the proprietor of the subject matter of the gift. According to Mullah, a hiba is transfer of property made immediately and without any exchange by one person to another and accepted by or on behalf of the latter. Another celebrated authority on Muslim law, that is A. Faizi, and Faizi says that I quote, hiba is immediate and unqualified transfer of the corpus of the property without any return or without any consideration. According to Abdul Rahim, what is hiba? According to him, hiba is a transfer of determinate property without any exchange. Jurisdictionally, it is treated as consisting of proposal or offer on the part of donor to give a thing and acceptance of it by the donee. Until the acceptance, the gift has no operation. Thus, it may be summarized that according to the jurist on the subject of the Muslim law, hiba is an act of bounty by which the right of the property is conferred in something specific without any exchange. However, according to Shia jurist, a hiba is an obligation by which property in a specific object is transferred immediately and unconditionally without any exchange and free from any pious or religious purpose on the part of the donor. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go by the various definitions formulated by the various jurists on the subject of the Muslim law, what that I have quoted just, the learners will arrive on the conclusion that hiba or gift under Muslim law is immediate and unconditional transfer of some specific property made voluntary without any consideration by one person called as donor, and the acceptance of the same by or on behalf of another person called as donee. One thing more which is worth noting for the learners, that so far as the hiba is concerned, basically hiba is the transfer of the ownership in a specific property by one person called as donor. So, it is the transfer of the property, it is the transfer of the bundle of rights in a specific property. Number two, that the transfer which is made by way of the gift is always unconditional, unqualified, means there should not be any condition precedent attached to the transfer when the property is being transferred by means of the gift. So there is in hiba there is a transfer of property, and transfer is always voluntary, with free consent, out of the choice, and it becomes effective immediately. Third is important feature is that in hiba transfer is always without any consideration, without any ewas, without any return. It is a free gift. It is a free gift, means it is the gift by one person to another, and this gift is free from all type of the considerations. This is the without consideration basically is the essence of the hiba or gift under Muslim law. Not only under Muslim law, even under the secular law, that is under the Transfer of Property Act also, a gift is always made voluntary, and without any consideration, and becomes effective immediately on the conclusion of the transaction of the transfer by one person to another person. Therefore, almost all the jurists have stated in their definition that gift is immediate and unqualified transfer of some specific thing or property, and transfer is always voluntary, made unconditional, unqualified, and it is always without any consideration, return or reverse. When the transfer of the property is made by one person without any consideration, without any return, without any wage, then such transfer is known as transfer inter vivas or a gift, and under Muslim law it is known as hiba. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be noted that a gift made to one son so as to strengthen his financial position in comparison to another son who are financially better placed than him is perfectly valid. A gift can be made even with the object of disinheriting an heir. Therefore, the purpose behind gift is immaterial. Yet, if it is to defeat the provisions of law, such as with the intention to defraud the creditors, such gifts are not valid and are voidable at the option of the creditors, though the mere fact that person owed some debts at the time of making of the gift was even insolvent is immaterial and does not affect the validity of the gift. In simple words, that a gift can be made by the donor or can be made by the donor with a specific purpose, or simply it may be for love and affection by one person to another. So, motive or purpose behind the gift made by the donor is immaterial. As I have already submitted through the slide, that a gift can be made in order to elevate the final position of the donee, even at the cost of the other relatives. For example, suppose for example there is an owner H is the owner of the property. He has got two sons and one daughter. At the last stage, he realizes that the financial position of the daughter is not sound as compared to his two sons, and therefore in order to improve her financial condition or position, he decides to transfer certain part of his property or wealth to his daughter with the motive or intention to make her richer or to bring financially her at the par of the sons. So here transfer is made, gift is made, motive behind the gift is to improve the financial condition even at the cost of the two sons. Two sons. Sometime objective or the purpose behind the gift may be to show the love and affection. Suppose X has got the two sons and he is having more love to one son as compared to the other. So out of the comparative more love and affection to one son, he is transferring or making the gift of certain part of his property to the son with whom he is loving more. So here he can do so. So meaning thereby that objective or the purpose behind the gift generally is immaterial. Purpose may be religious, purpose may be pious, purpose may be personal, purpose may be love and affection, and sometimes the purpose may be to enrich one relative at the cost of the other. But all these will not have any kind of the legal adverse impact on the validity of the gift. Just I have given the example. One gift is made in the name of one son. Either and motive behind this gift may be the love and affection, may be to enhance the financial condition of the donee son, or even sometimes the motive may be to disinherit one son at the cost of the other. So it should be kept in the mind that here motive is immaterial. What is necessary? That in any way gift should not involve any kind of the consideration, higher or lower, significant or insignificant. There should not be element of the consideration should not be there in the transfer of inter vivas, that is transfer of property by hiba or by gift.